Okay, this video had two purposes. One is to test out my headset to make sure the audio works okay. Just because when I previewed the videos from before, it seemed like there was some issue with the audio, with like popping and stuff. I'm not sure what that was all about. So I'm seeing if this is gonna help at all. The other one was my next topic. I wanted this topic to be something that I feel like people could actually comment on and leave something interesting, for me to read and maybe respond back to. And the topic was, if I had a superpower, what would it be? And I have to kind of divvy this up between like two different categories. Not like hero powers and villain powers. The hero-villain thing is, I don't know, that's another issue, I guess. I just want to think about superpowers, having something that's, beyond natural. Now, the two categories are, the things I think most people are used to. I don't know how to categorize them. I'm just calling them like X factor powers. Those are the powers that need something like alien or mutant X gene in the explanation to show how it's happening. Now, I mean, that's kind of the thing that most people use. You're like, well, let's say he can fly, or he has laser vision, or something like that. And you're like, that makes no real sense. But the comics and movies and things, they come in and explain it with saying like, oh, it's evolution, it's the mutant X gene, or he's an alien, or some science project gone wrong, radiation's a really popular one, or chemicals and stuff. Yeah, those are the X factor powers. Those are the ones that need that like random blank space that can't be explained or anything. And then there's the ones that I think actually are believable, like super strength. I think would probably be the first one to go in that category. And when I say super strength, I mean like strength happening like disproportionate to the figure that has it. Like I'm a pretty scrawny person, but if you were to see me like lift up a car, you'd probably consider that some kind of like super strength. I personally don't think I can lift up a car over my head or otherwise. But powers like that, and I mean, then some people might be saying like, well, that's not power, that's not like a superpower. And I was like, well, like I said, I wanted to try and divvy it up between two categories, like the semi-believable stuff, and then like you need an extra void factor kind of thing. It's like, well, you can't explain this factor kind of thing. But yeah, I guess in the semi-believable category, I'd have to say my power that I'd want would probably have to be super strength. I think that'd be kind of cool. And you're like, well, that's kind of lame, super strength is, it's just super strength. It's like, what about flying? It's like, I personally think flying would probably have to go into the X Factor category, unless it was like, I had wings. Wings would probably be the one thing that would make that believable, but again, I'm trying to think of like, if you just kind of saw me as I am, or just a regular person doing something extraordinary, and you could sort of believe it happening, but at the same time you're still just like, wow, that's impressive kind of thing. Probably super speed would go in there too. I wouldn't mind speed. If anything, I think I'd personally have to opt for like a super agility or something like that, like being, be able to balance myself on like string or something like that. Backflips and all the crazy acrobatic stuff, and having like super agility and super speed, I think it'd be really fun. Just because, you see like those like kung fu movies and stuff, and those guys doing all that kind of stuff normally. That's all really impressive, and you're like, these guys are normal people. Like, these guys are human, and these guys are pulling this off. It's insane. Those are the kind of powers I like. The kind of powers where they just seem like things that you could actually realistically achieve. Without having to stretch your imagination too much. Now, if I were to pick a power from the category of things that needed like the X Factor explanation, there's so many things that go into that category. I think first, the one power I think would be cool, but I would have to probably ditch because it didn't seem practical when I thought about it too much, would be invisibility. Invisibility came across as a cool idea because, invisibility, you're the ultimate spy, you're the ultimate sneak kind of person. But practically it kind of broke down as useless to me because, when you think about it, you're invisible, and you wouldn't be able to see anything. And here's why. Most people are probably thinking like, well, duh. Well, for the people that don't know, it's basically just your eyes see things based on light, hitting them and all that stuff. And if light's passing through you because you're invisible, you can't see anything because your eyes aren't collecting anything because they can't. They're just see-through. So if you're invisible, you'd be blind, and I think that'd just be kind of useless. But that was a cool idea at first, and I just kind of figured if you're gonna see while you're invisible, that'd be the X Factor thing that I personally don't care for. But invisibility was the first one that came to mind as something really neat. I think flying probably would be the next one. I think I already mentioned that. Having wings, even if you had wings to make it seem more practical, the question would be, well, how did you get wings? That kind of thing. Flying would be kind of nice. I think I'd like to fly without wings, because I think without wings, your potential for speed in the air is increased, because then whatever the X factor is... Oh, jeez. My alarm. I think whatever the X factor is that makes it, you're giving you the ability to fly without wings, can be amplified more than if it were just to explain that you have wings. So I think I'd like to not have wings if I was going to fly, because I think I'd be able to move faster and I'd be able to move a lot easier. So I think that'd be another one that'd be really cool. Another one that I thought was really fun, I actually ended up getting the idea from one of my friends who's kind of into all this, superhero stuff, is, and I don't even know what you would call this. I guess I can call it like the blissful ignorance power. And basically it's like, you can do anything so long as you don't know that it's not possible. And I think that would also have to go in the fact that you don't know you have the power, like that kind of thing. Like if you just, I gotta break this down here for people, like my thinking people here. You can do something that isn't possible as long as you don't know that it's not possible. So if you thought you could do it and no one told you that it's impossible, no one can prove to you that it's impossible, then you can do it. Imagine that. I don't even know what you would call that. But I think that would probably be a really fun power. The downside is, of course, you'd probably have to not know that you have it, because if you knew, then you wouldn't be able to do anything at all. I don't think. Trying to make sense of something that really not supposed to make sense anyways. But I think that'd be a really fun power. Energy manipulation and transformation, that kind of stuff would be cool. Energy manipulation, like controlling electricity, or being able to transform stuff at like a molecular level, because you can just you focus on it and then you can just turn it into something. I think that'd be cool. I don't know what you'd call it. That probably has a different name, like transmutation or something. But transformation is another really cool one, like being able to turn yourself into something. There's the standard one where it's like you can turn yourself into animals. That sounds fun. Like, I think I'd want to be something that was a little, I don't know, faster than a bipedal thing. Or at least maybe more practical for like combat purposes, as you think usually when you have superpowers, you're usually fighting stuff. Usually other people with powers. Then there's the other thing where it's like you can transform into not animals, but like, you think about vampires, they have the power to, turn into like mist or something. That sounds cool. I like to be able to do that. And then there's the other one where you can just transform into other people. Like you can mimic people. That sounds fun. I think I'd like that power. That'd be cool. Infiltration, instead of being invisible, you could actually just be the people. That'd be really neat. But yeah, I think if I would have to pick a favorite in each category, my practical, power category would have to be super speed. I think super speed would be the most fun. And I could use that. Like I can think of things in my life where I'd be able to use that. In my X Factor category, I think I'd have to go with that blissful ignorance one. The one that I really can't name, like what that power would be, except blissful ignorance. It probably does have a name, and it's probably does, it's been used before, but I think that'd be my power for like the X Factor category one. So yeah, I think that's this one. And I'd like to hear what other people, think about superpowers and stuff, and what other kind of powers you would like, and if you could practically apply it and stuff like that. But, alright, yeah, so that wraps up this one. So, see you next time.